Imagine being married for 14 good years with 4 children to the love of your life, and while hustling and even doing 4 jobs, you get to find out that the love of your life has been funding his secret family with your salaries. This is the story of Loveth, the TikToker that is currently trending. She has been married for 14 years. She and her husband, they have 4 children. And along the line, while they were in Nigeria, she decided to move to Canada for greener pastures, for a better life for she and her family. And then she went to Canada on student visa and was there as a student. She began to hustle, put money together, doing all sorts of jobs to ensure to bring over her family. And finally, in 2024, this her plan clicked, and her husband and her 4 children joined her in Canada. Okay, and then they started living together. The husband was not doing anything, no job for him, so she was the one catering for the family. She stretched herself to the point of doing 4 jobs, from healthcare to hairstyling to DJing. Even as a TikToker, she continued her life, providing for the family financially. And then along the line, for whatever reason, for some reason, Lovett decided to check her husband's phone. And one fateful night, the husband was in a deep sleep. She checked the husband's phone and they found chats between her husband and this particular lady. And while reading the chat, she found out that the husband was cheating. And she tried dialing the number of the lady, it was not reachable. So, in the bid not to have her husband deny this, by the time she asked or confronts her husband, she snapped these chats and kept them in her phone. So by the next night, the husband already deleted the chats between him and the side chick, only leaving that day's chat between them. But at this time, Lovett already had evidence and she confronted him, showing him the evidence. This man began to beg and ask for forgiveness. But Lovett, being that she didn't want the children to see them arguing, it's going to be an ugly scene, she quietly asked him to leave the house for now. This man moved out of the house and decided to weaponize the situation by recording himself, showing himself under the cold outside the house, stating that Lovett threw him out. After recording this video of himself in the cold, he sent it to their pastor and to family members, and they began to mount pressure on Lovett to allow him back into the house. Now, during this period of time, this man also called the side chick, told the side chick to call Lovett, telling Lovett that it's her fault that this thing happened. And when the side chick called Lovett, she began to gaslight Lovett, began to say, please, that is her fault, that Lovett should allow the father of her children to come in. And then she went further to say that her own first child and her last child, that they are age mates with Lovett's children. It was at this moment that Lovett knew that there are even children, about 3 children involved in this matter. So the husband has been cheating with a lady, and this lady has 3 children for the husband. Not only that, Lovett found out from the children that her husband introduced the side chick to them while they were in Nigeria as her sister. So to the children, that's their mother's sister. And the children also told Lovett that sometimes when they go out, that their father will claim that he wants to fill gas and he will leave them seated in the car while going to spend time with the side chick. So they will be in the car waiting while he will be spending time with the side chick. Wanting to keep her family together for the sake of the children, Lovett forgave him, and then he returned and showed Lovett that he has blocked the side chick and cut her off. Things began to seem like they've improved. He also got a job, and when he got this job, he gave Lovett part of the house rent. And though it was not complete rent, it was not the complete amount of money needed for the house rent, Loveth appreciated it. I mean, for her, things are beginning to change. He is changing and things are getting improved. But the peace was short-lived because Loveth began to search for something in the house or around the house, and then she saw a bag that she assumed was the children's bag. She opened it and saw a new phone. And when she opened this phone, she began to see, or she saw, that the husband continued chats with the side chick and also with his family members. She saw chats showing where the family members were even telling him that he should just find a way to get his Canadian papers, his PR, so as to be able to get himself documented and then leave Loveth after that. The family members were also telling him in those chats how to use black magic or juju on Loveth so as to be able to control Loveth to do whatever he wants or whatever they want. So on seeing this, Loveth was shocked. She could not believe it. Loveth also found juju or black magic items in this same bag. Now, being fed up and tired of the whole manipulation and lies by this her husband, she told him that she was tired of the marriage and ordered him to leave. This man picked up his things and relocated or moved to Toronto, where he rented another apartment for himself and began to stay. At the point of this, their splitting, this man's Canadian residence permit was at the verge of expiring. Loveth, although she has been betrayed by this man, she did not try to revoke his Canadian residence permit. Rather, she went further to help him renew his permit for the sake of their children. In order to help this man, Lovett moved to another Canadian province to be in a different immigration tier, tier 3, and to make his application or to help his application to have a better chance. However, due to standard policy shifts and because she was in tier 4, his paperwork did not pull through and the Canadian government denied his renewal. Enraged by the immigration failure, the husband launched a smear campaign. He fabricated stories telling people and Loveth's family that Loveth was the one cheating. The malice went beyond lies. The husband began plotting for Loveth to have a fatal accident using or via spiritual or juju means. Suspicious of this escalating tension, the family of Loveth went to a spiritualist who confirmed that the husband was actively trying to take away her life. And with this knowledge, they intervened and began to use spiritual means to shield Loveth's life, thereby saving her life spiritually. When the children later fell sick, Loveth had her sister call the husband, and the husband's response was cold and final. His response was that since Loveth has chosen to be a single mother, that she could figure out how to care for the children on her own, that they should not worry when the children are grown, that they will find him. Can you imagine? I also heard that the side chick threatened Loveth, saying to her that if she releases her photos online, that she will deal with Loveth. Can you imagine? One thing I observed about this story is that the man's family never liked Loveth, and Loveth continued with the relationship and marriage. See something? Sometimes a person's family will often show you the blueprint of the person's character. So from onset, being that they never liked her, they decided to use her as a gateway to get papers for this man. Secondly, let me tell you something. Do not be too proud or too comfortable to check the bag or your partner's phone and question the sudden change in character. Don't live in denial. Thirdly, that denial of the husband's papers renewal was just, I would say, God just intervened to protect Loveth. And another thing is, when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. You do not have to wait until they try to take away your peace, your life, even your papers before you walk away. This story is long. I had to just summarize it. Is on Odogu Kiwi's page. You can go and watch the straight 4 hours testimony of Loveth. Thankfully, she is by herself now and she's fine and she's going to be fine. Anyways, thank you for watching. I will see you on my next video. Let me know what you think about this video, okay? If I did not complete the story or there's an error, let me know in the comments. Bye.